Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hello friends, checking in on the broader market. The S&P 500 and SPY today had a big gap up open and a lot of strength. So we have now broken the high of the original bounce. And just like that, we're looking back at all-time highs. Has our weekly higher low been set? Sure looks like it. And the bulls are back in the driver's seat. The burden of proof remains on the bears. Yes, we dropped to a lower high and lower low, but QQQ and XLF did not, the largest holdings in the S&P 500. And the big gap up, it was a monster day out there. I mean, we had all the major tech names, aside from Google on my screen, were up 2 to 3.3%. We had the financial sector give a lot of its gains back. So the tech sector held strength while the financial sector pulled back. The biotech sector was up 3%, just under 3% at one point today. So a lot of strength out there. What virus is what the market is saying today? So looking at the hourly chart for SPY, just looking for an hourly higher low to form with end of day consolidation, and I would consider anything above 325.90 as an hourly higher low. And we are up after hours in the S&P 500, back to 329.50 after a bit of a weaker close. Not a weak close, but just a little sell-off into the end of the day being made back here. So IWM, daily resistance is 165.56. We pulled back under that level right now. So if we lose the hourly uptrend, which is easily intact at this point, we would have to lose the low of today in order to lose the hourly uptrend from this point. But if we lose the hourly uptrend, our lower high on the daily has been set, and the bulls would then be hoping for an inverse head and shoulders on the 4-hour time frame. Left shoulder, this would be the head. If we reject from here and have to consolidate, bulls would be hoping that a right shoulder forms, but still a daily lower high pattern on IWM. QQQ is ripping to all-time highs. We never lost the daily uptrend as far as I'm concerned. Look at this pullback. Where was our last daily high or low? The base was down here at 211. I would consider this not ever losing the daily uptrend. Higher low, higher high, all-time highs. Tech sector continues to be the leading bull force in this market. Yes, other sectors are participating, but not like the tech sector is. Anything on the hourly chart above the low of today will be an hourly higher low, keeping the bulls in control of that uptrend. XLF, there's that sell-off. Opposite directions. We closed at the low of the day, while QQQ closed near the high of the day. So market bulls will take that, because that means, again, the S&P 500 is only going to see significant notable weakness if both the financial sector and the tech sector are going down at the same time. If only one is going down, it's not going to have a significant impact on the entire market as a whole. So what the bulls of the market would love to see is sector rotation. They would love to see the tech sector run to all-time highs while the financial sector pulls back, and then the tech sector pull back while the financial sector bounces a bit. So we broke resistance on XLF, but with the weak close, watching for a daily higher low compared to 29.85. And as far as the weekly chart goes, could this just be a bounce to a weekly lower high and lower low? Yes, that's always possible, so it's something we're going to be keeping an eye on, but the bulls have a lot of space for a daily higher low with where we stand right now. A lot of bear volume, just something to be keeping an eye on. Opposite direction for XLF and QQQ. XLV with a notable bounce, but anything under 102.64 is a daily lower high. Same 4-hour inverse head and shoulders setup. This is it without extended hours on, just to make it a little bit more clear, but if we fail 102.64, bulls need the 4-hour higher low to try and change the 4-hour trend with an inverse head and shoulders. XBI broke the daily lower high resistance. Big time follow through. We have not changed the daily trend because this move is coming straight off the low. We have broken the lower highs. When we lose the hourly uptrend, we need the daily trend change to follow for a very clear momentum shift. But bulls will take the last 2 days extremely strong. Hourly higher low is 93.12. Nice end of the day close. SMH. Anything under 145.58 is a daily lower high. So we can categorize names. Who has broken the initial bounce from the initial coronavirus reaction? who has broken that high and who has not. QQQ, XLF, and SPY all broke it. SMH, XLV, IWM, I think that's it. They all have not broken it. So 145.58 is the resistance on SMH. If we fail, use the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour inverse head and shoulders will have to happen for the bulls to try and play catch up. The VIX here, so we're looking down at 1490, our last little higher low. If we can hold that level, we'll look for a bounce into a bit of a lower high. And I'm watching it as a daily uptrend, as that's going to help me keep it clear. And I know a lot of people say, well, VIX is not a stock and you can't treat it like a stock. But in terms of having clarity and understanding of where momentum is heading, trends are how I do it. So anything above 1490, I consider a higher low. And just like we're watching those inverse 4-hour head and shoulders pattern, if we hold this support, bears are going to be watching for a head and shoulders pattern to potentially play out. Gold pulled back notably today, lost the daily exponential 12-period support. So what does that mean? We look to the 3-day time frame. My stop for GLD long-term swing is under 1536. I expect that level to hold at least initially for an equilibrium to tighten up with a high, low, lower high, have to form a higher low to stay in this tightening range. I may add to my position and average up based off that support, because if I add a new position at these levels, the risk is very low in terms of how much I would lose if we did end up stopping out. So I will tomorrow potentially be watching for an entry point to add to GLD, anticipating the 3-day equilibrium is the most likely scenario. For silver, we're looking at the tightening range on the daily chart. High, low, lower high, and the bulls must hold 1734 to form a higher low here. Not as beat up as gold in the short term. 4-hour RSI not oversold. Hourly did touch oversold and then bounced, but if you look at gold, 4-hour hit oversold, hourly got crushed, and is just now getting back to 30. Dust bull break today on its daily time frame, so a little higher low. The higher high break was 615, and we ended up going 4% through that level. Now it's all about 660. If we do form the 3-day equilibrium on gold, I would expect to fail to break 660 on dust here and to keep a tightening range. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's use a 3-day chart for here as well. So potential for a tightening 3-day range here if gold is able to hold that low. Oil, still no bounce. Bears in absolute complete control. Nice bounce on the 4-hour this morning, but we never changed the trend. Lower high, lower low. So I will continue to not be interested until we see some kind of setup with either a trend change, or if some of these RSI levels get to historic lows, which still have a ways to go. Daily RSI, again, just 2 years ago, less than that, a year and 3 months, dropped down to 14 daily RSI. So we can absolutely see another couple percent down. I'm patiently waiting on the 4-hour time frame. Natural gas, decent little move short term. 4-hour did not change the trend, but we did break the lower highs. So we will still need a 4-hour higher low and higher high to have any conviction that this move can have follow through. Anything on the daily chart under 197 is just a daily lower high with exponential resistance in play now. So still a lot of work to do for the bulls, but they're trying to hold 179, and at least a short-term shift is underway. So that's where we stand in the market as a whole. Bulls breathing a big sigh of relief. They're very comfortable now. We have a lot of space for hourly higher lows on a lot of individual names. We have a lot of space for daily higher lows. Right now, SPY, with where we stand, is $4 from an all-time high. And to break the low of the reaction to the virus here, we would have to drop $8.30. Twice as far to support as we are to all-time high resistance. So hope you had a good day out there, trading Tesla significantly. Tesla gave us a smash down at the end of the day, out of nowhere. And it was the kind of thing where in the chat room I said, when everybody's looking in one direction, get cautious. And everybody was looking for Tesla to close strong and try and test 1,000 with a gap up open tomorrow. And we just dumped through all support levels established through the vast majority of the day. And now we still have volatility after hours, but what this does is, number one, we're still in an hourly uptrend, but it's a bearish reversal candlestick on the daily. And if we bounce into tomorrow, I'm going to be viewing or looking for a lower high compared to 869 and looking to top fish against that level. And best case for the bears would be a lower high and a lower low, indicating daily consolidation is underway. But it's that lower high where I may have interest. All depends on where we open tomorrow. And it's going to be a little bit tricky because of the lack of clear resistances in this zone. We've been covering it nonstop in the chat room with the chart guys, and we'll continue to do so. I've just been approaching every day knowing I'm only going to trade Tesla today, and eventually that will no longer be the case, but looking like it will likely be the case for another solid few days at the least. Thanks again. Do good things. We'll see you soon. Got to give a shout out to member RCW Sound. Commissioned some glasswork from him. Pretty sweet chart guys panel. Gonna hang that next to my trading desk. Pretty cool to have so many people with so many talents all in one place.